While multiplexes are here, provincial legislation increasing density here in British Columbia, I thought I would make a video series and outline from A to Z what it means whether you're a home seller or a home buyer. My name's Greg Axford. I'm a licensed realtor and property manager, and I have a real estate brokerage here in the Tri-Cities, which is about 45 minutes outside of downtown Vancouver. And my goal of this channel is to make videos to help educate anybody that's thinking of buying, selling, or investing in the marketplace that I am lucky enough to live and work in. And if you'd like to book a call, make it very easy for you, there is a link below in the description that will allow you to choose a time that's convenient for yourself. We can chat over the phone, we can meet in person, or we can have a Zoom call. Well, what's kind of happened here, the province introduced some new legislation last year. David Eby and the housing minister, Ravi Kaland, try to increase density throughout the larger cities in British Columbia, focusing primarily on transit-orientated areas, which are areas around SkyTrain stations, bus loops, West Coast Express stations. Now, within 200, 400, and 800 meters of these TOAs, the transit-orientated areas, those that I just spoke about, the closer you are, 200 meters, the higher density. So up to, let's say, a 20-story tower. As you go down to 800 meters, they're looking more at around 8 stories. Now, keep in mind that this will be ultimately decided at the municipal level, not at the provincial. But in this video, I wanted to focus more on the multiplexes. So multiplex, which are 3, 4, 5, or 6 units on a single family lot. Now, to me, there seems to be a little confusion as to what can be built and where. And in these videos, I want to clarify that so that you as a homeowner know what could be built on your lot if you have a single family lot. I'll throw a picture up on the screen. This is the urban containment boundary within Greater Vancouver. So as you can see from this, most areas are affected. If you're in the outlying areas of Abbotsford, Maple Ridge, probably won't be, but if you're in Vancouver, West Vancouver, North Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, Tri-Cities, New West, Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows, you probably are going to be affected by this. Now there's a caveat, there's some properties that aren't affected. So if you're, let's say in Anmore, where the population is less than 5,000, this won't apply. If you got a heritage home, agricultural land, industrial areas, riparian areas, meaning it's close to a creek, your properties will be excluded from this. Now, a multiplex can be defined as anything from a duplex up to a sixplex, as well if you've got a single family home, possibly adding a secondary home to the same property, or a laneway house with a garage, or just a laneway house. So, and possibly a mix of any of those as well. So there's going to be a variety of new product that's going to come to the market when this all rolls out. Now, the cities all have till the end of June 2024 to update their bylaws. Now, from my understanding, the city of Coquitlam might ask for an extension. Port Coquitlam, we're still a little bit unclear on that. Port Moody is looking very favorable to what they will allow. And Burnaby's actually rolled out everything. So I'm going to use Burnaby as an example in moving forward through some of these as well, because everything has already been updated within their bylaws. What they're trying to do here ultimately is bring the cost of housing down by increasing the supply. So they've tried various things throughout the years. They've just increased the capital gains if you sell something. They have the foreign buyer ban. They've taken away your right, if you have an Airbnb property, to rent that out as an Airbnb property or vacation rental. They've brought in the anti-flipping tax, the home buyer rescission period, aka the cooling off period, and so on and so on. They've tried a bunch of stuff, but nothing really seems to be working. So the best way to go about that is increasing the supply. Outside of the 200, 400, and 800 meter radiuses of the TOAs, or the transit-orientated areas, lie most of the properties in most of the municipalities. So what can be built on these? Now, the other thing to keep in mind is they use a frequent transit network, or FTN, as you may see, which means a bus line where the bus runs every 15 minutes. Now, if you're within 400 meters of one of these frequent transit networks, you will be able to build a sixplex on your place. Unless you're within 200, 400, or 800 meters of a TOA, in that case, that will override you being within 400 meters of a frequent transit network. So to recap, if you're within 400 meters of a bus line that runs every 15 minutes, or 200, 400, 800 meters, the SkyTrain station or West Coast Express station, which is going to be most of the properties, which properties really will be affected. So if you have a home that's, let's say, roughly 30 years or newer, probably, or in a subdivision, I should say, that's roughly 30 years or newer, then probably you're not going to be affected because the price that a builder would have to pay for your house on your lot is going to be too much. So if your house is, let's say, 35 years or older, what comes next? So the size of the lot obviously is going to matter. The bigger the better. It will offer the builder more options when it comes to creating a design for that multiplex. The other things that are going to be attractive to developers and builders on these multiplexes are that it has lane access. Corner lots are going to be preferred because you have streets on two sides, and if you have a lane on that as well, that will be desirable. And as well the shape of the lot. So square or rectangular lots are going to be more attractive versus the pie-shaped lots or irregular shaped lots. Just because it will probably, we'll see them on these pie-shaped lots, but they might look a little bit awkward, and having driveways that come in and how they lay out isn't going to be as appealing to the end user as having, let's say, a rectangular lot. As I mentioned, the municipalities or the cities within Greater Vancouver here have to the end of June to update their bylaws. So as far as I know, Burnaby's the only one that's done it. Port Moody's close. Coquitlam, I've heard, is going to ask for an extension. So we'll kind of have to see how this all plays out. But one of the key factors in it is, with all of this, it's reducing the developer's time with the city and all of the red tape, going through the zoning application and all of that. So for example, in Burnaby now you can go straight to a building permit, which saves a ton of time, which ultimately will add value to the homeowner, as they're going to be able to get a higher price for their land because the builder or the developer doesn't have to carry the property for that extra year, year and a half. Now there's a little bit of a background to Bill 44 and what it means. In the next video, I'll get a little bit more in depth into it, but like it or not, and there's a lot of people that do not like this, I don't blame them. I mean, there's pros and cons to each, but it is here to stay. So if you have any questions, please reach out. I'd love to chat. Happy house hunting, everyone.